Hey, what's up everybody? It is Kellen here from Start Your Systems and welcome back to mxvsatv Legends. Today we're going to be playing Unadilla 2023, part of the 2023 AMA National Track Pack, or the Season Pass, if you have the Season Pass as well. And talking about Jett Lawrence wrapping up this championship, talking about the 250 class a little bit, just talking about a lot of stuff because, man, it's been a while since I've been doing these kind of regular videos of talking about the races, but I really wanted to get back into doing it, especially now we got SMX coming up, we got Motocross of Nations, a lot of things that I'm pretty excited to talk about. And finally, I'm not sick anymore. Gosh, I was really sick for quite a long time. I've been going in and out of a lot of these little illnesses and stuff like that. It's been pretty tough to get even my regular job done, so that's kind of why I haven't had much going on with the upload side on SYS, but figured now get back into it, talk about these races a little bit, and have a little bit of fun along the way. So yeah, Jett Lawrence, man, wow. Now is your 2023 AMA Pro Motocross Champion. He is 18-0, still perfect on the season, and on his way to trying to wrap up the fourth ever perfect season, the third different rider to do it in Pro Motocross if he's able to get it done. But already to have the title wrapped up, 2 rounds early, so much space left to play with. Wow. Honestly, that's the only word I have for the season that Jett Lawrence has put together at this point in time. I thought coming in that, you know, there was every chance that he could battle for the title, win the title even. Like, I didn't think that was impossible, but to do it the way that he has is pretty remarkable. And yes, I know Eli isn't there. Yes, I know Chase got hurt. And yes, Ken Roczen hasn't raced a full season. Cooper Webb is now in and out, but Webb wasn't really, I think, expected to be an outdoor contender anyway with him. There's players missing, no question about it. So there's obviously that caveat to it. But when Chase has been here, when Roczen has been here, he's beat him. Chase has raced half the season at this point, and Jett has won every single moto that Chase has lined up on the gate against him. So you have to say, in some shape or form, he has gone against pretty much the best of the best, aside from Tomac, and he's beaten them at every opportunity. And now he gets to win the title in his rookie year. He just turned 20 years old, so he didn't quite win it as a teenager, but almost. And that is something that doesn't ever really happen, to win this title as a teenager on a 450. So yeah, like I said, I'm lost for words because this has come about so fast. I feel like, you know, we go back to him racing a 250 in Supercross this year, and a lot of people said, oh, maybe he should have already raced a 450. We should have seen him in 450 Supercross. And now, like, you look back at that and you go, yeah, probably, but also, man, he chose a pretty good time to move up. Like, he won just about everything he could in Supercross. He won both coasts. He won 2 Supercross titles. He won 2 250 motocross titles, and he moved up before he was like, what, 3.5 seasons deep? And even that, you know, he didn't get his full rookie Supercross season in because he broke his collarbone after the 3rd round when he was trying to win the main event. So, yeah, he had a tremendous 250 class career, and now it's just rolled right into a 450 class career that is going to be pretty tough to topple in any short manner. I feel like the fact that we have Tomac coming back is awesome, but suddenly Jett Lawrence is like, wait a minute, do we already put him as a favorite going into his rookie 450 Supercross season? Now, indoors is always different than outdoors, and we've seen it with Osborne, we've seen it with Ferrandis, we've seen these guys that really are good outdoors that it just doesn't translate into Supercross. Osborne has a Supercross 450 win, but Ferrandis hasn't, and that's kind of like shocking to say, but it's the truth. So you can't read everything that's happened outdoors as we roll into Supercross next year, but I feel like the fact that Jett has built up such a resume behind him on a 250 in Supercross and has now done this outdoors is, yeah, unbelievable. So I think for me, I definitely say that moving into Supercross, you have to put him in discussion as a guy that could win it right away from a rookie. But we'll get there when it's time. We still have 4 more motos of outdoors to go and a whole SMX thing, which Jett is probably rolling into that as a favorite as well, since Tomac will not be back for that either. So many congratulations to Jett. There's not really even much else to say in the 450 class because, yeah, Chase had another so-so day. Ferrandis was good, but he's been hit and miss this year, and the second moto got a terrible start, so he could only get all the way back to 3rd. Yeah, like I just feel like the players have not played to the level of what Jett Lawrence has accomplished this year, and he definitely is a very, very deserving champion. And now we get to see what the heck he can do for a decade in on the 450 in the 450 class. I mean, is anybody at this point saying like, yeah, records could topple? Maybe. If he goes perfect in his rookie year, you have to say that there's some records that could maybe fall. Getting to Carmichael's 150 win AMA total would be difficult, but he's already put a 250 class resume behind him that would make it possible. And then, you know, Supercross wins and all this stuff. I mean, he has to win Supercross races before we get there, but I mean, even outdoors, you already have to look at it from the fact that he's going to end this championship at least with 9 overall wins, if not 11. And he's already into, I think, around 12th place all-time, 450 wins in 1 year. It's pretty remarkable what he's been able to accomplish. So enough about the 450, because I did want to talk about the 250 class mainly in this video. I know we highlight Jett and we talk about how great Jett was. But the 250 championship coming into Unadilla has been one for really the ages. Like, I feel like not much respect has been given to how good of a 250 championship it's been, just because Hunter has led it pretty much the whole way. But, you know, Deegan did have the red plate at one point, and Deegan had a Washougal that was astounding, charging all the way to the checkered flag, running the fastest lap of the moto late in the second moto at Washougal, and going 1-1. The first rider all year in the 250 class to go 1-1. Hunter Lawrence hasn't even gone 1-1 in the 250 class, and he didn't again at Unadilla. He went 2-2 to win the overall. But man, the heartbreak for Deegan having a mechanical failure at this stage of the season. Like, look, I know a lot of people are saying Hunter had 2 DNFs. Justin Cooper had 2 DNSs because he did not start at High Point after his practice crash. And it's all true, you know, like the championship would not be what it is without those situations having come to fruition and giving Hayden the opportunity to close up. But when you're this close, this late in the championship, and the title fight is coming down to the nitty-gritty, to have a DNF is really just like gut-wrenching. Honestly, it kind of sucks for really just fans in general to not have a tighter championship battle down to the end, because Hunter Lawrence going 2-2, he followed Justin Cooper home in the second moto, maybe could have won both motos. He was really close to Levi, just got there a little bit too late, and he said even once he got into second place behind Justin Cooper, he knew the situation he was in with Deegan in the first moto, so he kind of cruised it home. And that's fair, you know, he's trying to win a championship, he's not necessarily trying to win races, and he's probably on his way to the 450 class anyway, so doesn't need to break his back trying to win a race. So I get all that. But again, for the Deegan side of things, to be 17 years old, rookie year, first got to go 1-1 on a 250 all year, 3 points back in the championship on Hunter Lawrence in the first moto. Like, Hunter did catch and pass him, so credit all the way to Hunter to be as strong as he was in the beginning of that moto and starting to run the leaders down when he did. I think he knew that there was a sense of urgency there with the way that Deegan was riding. But Deegan stuck with him. He picked up his pace. He passed very, very talented riders, got into third, and then there's a couple Instagram reels I've already seen out there of his bike sputtering. You can hear it kind of whoa, 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 coming out of corners and stuff like that. And then with about 3 minutes to go, it expires on him. And we're never going to get like an official, oh, this is exactly what happened. I mean, maybe the Deegan YouTube channel will put something out there, because they're pretty, you know, shameless about that kind of stuff, which credit to them. Like, it's cool to have more openness in the sport, but the teams usually are pretty like, let's not tell them what exactly happened, if the piston shorted or the piston blew, I should say, or the spark plug shorted or whatever. Things like that usually don't come out. But either way, it's a really just terrible situation for Hayden Deegan, because he's put together such a solid year, and he's going to be dejected to not have taken this title all the way to the flag. But if you look back at it, to be this close to the title in your rookie season, he's now 4th in the standings, but he'll battle, he'll maybe get 3rd still. Like, all of those things aside, you just have to say that this has been a really, really good rookie year for Hayden Deegan, and I just don't think that it's fair necessarily to for him or his camp or anybody to be dejected about the fact that this title slipped away with that DNF. Like, he did a great job all year long and deserves a lot of praise for the way that he's handled himself through a lot of this stuff. Me personally, the thing I'm most surprised about is he's ridden as hard as he has, as long as he has. The fitness-wise has been incredible, but to not have like really big ones, most rookies do. And, you know, I get it, Hayden Deegan's not most rookies, but anybody that is a rookie in this class that pushes as hard as Hayden was pushing usually has a big crash. And I know he had the big one at Ironman last year, I think a lot of people were like expecting there'd be a few more rookie mistakes like that, and to not have them. And this situation is not, you can't fault him for the bike expiring. He's just done so many things right. So wanted to give some love and credit to him. On the flip side, I mean, Hunter came back and did exactly what he needed to do. He was pretty hurt going into the break. Interviewing him a couple times. I think I interviewed him at, I think it was Millville or something like that, and he talked about his ribs and how they felt after Red Bud. Bud's Creek is coming up, so it's on my mind. But he felt that the ribs were really going to hamper him at these next couple rounds that he was coming up to, which was Spring Creek and Washougal and those other ones, and wasn't trying to use it as an excuse, but he definitely was having a rib injury to deal with. And then finally got healed up and looked a lot more, in my opinion, at Unadilla like the Hunter Lawrence that we saw at the beginning of the year. So as much as you do want to say, okay, Deegan made it close, Justin Cooper doesn't have these DNSs, he's obviously going to be closer. Joe Shimoda was weird at the beginning of the year, he should probably be better. Hunter Lawrence has been there and done what he needed to do when he needed to do it. He had a mechanical failure. He also had a first turn crash where he got ran over and couldn't even feel his arm and was really concerned about that. And somehow he is still our championship leader, and pretty handily so, going into the final 2 rounds. So, I mean, for his sake, he's done exactly what he's needed to do to rebound from those situations. And like I said, a lot of credit goes to him for the way that he has handled himself. I thought it was pretty funny to see his podium interview, and there's been so much talk about what Hayden said at Washougal about Hunter being nervous, and then Hayden says he was hoping to get the pressure from Hayden because to him all of this so far hasn't been any pressure. It was more pressure to him when his family didn't even have food on the table, which I know people are like, oh, whatever, yeah, right. But seriously, read up sometime about the Hunter Lawrence and Jett Lawrence family situation, what they had to go through to get to Europe in the first place, the ways that they've been screwed over by teams. All this just to have a chance to eventually race in the USA. And Hunter almost retired at one point after a slew of injuries once he got to the US, and Supercross is tough for him. So for both the Lawrence brothers to have the seasons that they're having, to maybe sweep the AMA Pro Motocross Championship, like, to me, it's just such a great story. And I feel like anybody that's dissing them for the things that they say or the fact that they're not American or whatever, I don't think there's many people doing that, but the people that are hating on the Lawrence brothers, whoever they are out there, really should get more of a full perspective of the story and everything that they went through, because it's pretty cool to see both of them at the top of the sport and at the top of their game. And honestly, from my side, I'm an American. I want the Americans to win the Motocross of Nations, no question about it. But I love the competition aspect of it that's coming into the way that the Lawrence brothers have risen, and now Australia is suddenly a powerhouse nation at the Motocross of Nations to mix in with Belgium and France, and now Spain is really good, and the Netherlands have obviously won recently. They're also solid. So there's so much fun dynamic in the more universal aspect of the fact that we have a lot of really good countries with a lot of really good riders coming out that are talented at motocross and supercross. So I love it. I think that's sick, and I hope that we get more of that moving forward. As we move into Budds Creek this coming week, though, championship-wise, a lot of those things are already kind of falling to the wayside, but man, there's just so much more fun stuff going on than I feel like a lot of people are giving credit for. The amazing season Ty Masterpool has put on, guys clinching playoff race berths, which I know a lot of people have kind of crapped on the SMX playoff thing and how stupid of an idea it is or whatever, but man, for some of these guys that are going to finish like 15th in that championship, they're going to get a lot of money. And to me, that's what's most important, is getting the athletes that make this sport entertaining for us, getting them their due, getting them money to continue racing. And, there's going to be guys like Braswell, for example, Caden Braswell. I think he's 14th or 15th overall in 250 SMX standings. And he just lost his gas ride. Not that he was supposed to keep it. It was only supposed to be a 4-race deal. Ended up being 8 races, and they have a future plan ahead of them with Pierce Brown and eventually Ryder DiFrancesco. But you look at Braswell, and he's a guy that suddenly was without a ride with 3 of these races to go, and in a position to race SMX. And the HBI racing team picked him up, and he's probably going to make the SMX playoffs and be able to race with them, and then probably get a pretty decent little payday out of it for just finishing, in the top 20 in SMX. So To me, like, it's stories like that that I think are probably swept too far under the rug and not talked about enough that I think we need to talk more about. You know, the guys like Kyle Chisholm and Freddie Noren, who aren't getting paid a ton by HEP, are going to get a lot of money from racing SMX. There's a chance Jose Butron still makes it into just straight up the playoff races and doesn't need to race LCQs. Like, that's going to be a fun story. So yeah, I'm monitoring that because I feel like it's going to be cool to talk about when it's all said and done, just how much money these guys made when the year is over. And yeah, I think those races are going to be fun to talk about as well. So Budds Creek coming up. I'm not going to be there myself, as I'm finally taking a little bit of break and recovering and trying to help out my own health and not go to as many races. But I will be at Ironman, looking forward to that and hoping to see you guys out there as well. But more videos coming in the pipeline. I got some stuff lined up that I want to get done here on SYS. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this as we talk about Jett and Hunter Lawrence potentially on their way to being the first brothers to both win outdoor championships at the same time, not even in the same year or same realm or anything like that. They're both going to get it done at the same time. It's really the summer of Lawrence's, and we might see it take another step towards that at Budds Creek coming up. So thanks, guys, for tuning in and listening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my thoughts and opinions on everything that happened at Unadilla. And I'll be back next week with some more stuff to recap Budds Creek. But yeah, appreciate you guys stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. So long for now.